Welcome to another episode of Fulham Chronicles. Hello, Melinda.
Hi, Zara.
How is it almost coming to your holiday time? Are you feeling excited?
Yeah, exactly.
Whereabouts are you going?
Good to have a break. Back to Greece.
Going to Greece.
Can't beat Greece.
Can't we love Greece?
Yeah, really good. How about you? Have you still got the holiday feeling? Has it gone already?
What
Boys still talking about their first overseas trip?
Well, what a bittersweet relationship. I've never experienced the children's holiday at its fullest because I've had my mum and I was obviously, well, we all know I was stuck. But it's amazing to be with them and experience all of these things with them. At the same time, don't we all love a bit of me time and a breather? And but yeah, thank you for asking. Well, who do we have in the studio today?
We have the gorgeous.
The gorgeous?
Yes, the gorgeous. Nesse Cannon, who
a fiver.
Yeah, exactly. Pay me later. Who's the founder of Barrefly London, but you're also a PT and a certified nutritionist.
Oh,
welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Welcome to our studio. Yeah, welcome to La Casa.
La Casa.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great to have you here.
It is so bittersweet to be here. Literally the building next door is where I started teaching 1,000 years ago. Bar classes.
Another dinosaur.
Alongside my day job. Literally, it used to be Slice right next door to us.
Yeah.
It's the most gorgeous little studio that went out in the pandemic, of course you know.
How great is to go back in places and create nice memories. 100%. So today is one of those days.
100%. I had to take a little Instagram, who knows where I am.
You had a little moment.
I had a moment.
Oh no, but that's in a way, yes, of course. I totally forgot that because that's how Barrefly London came to be.
Yeah. So, wait a minute. I want to know all about Ness and I want to know how from Miami. Are you a Miami babe? I wanted to say something else and I was like, babe. Are you a Miami babe? Yes. How 20 plus years ago, was it Fulham where you firstly came and worked? Was it how did you, why London?
So I grew up on AbFab. Fawlty Towers and Are You Being Served? They were my favourites. I used to watch them when I was a little girl on BBC America. And so I knew forever that I wanted to get to the UK. Well, actually at the time it was either the UK or Paris.
Paris?
But then I went to Paris. And everyone was mean to me, and it was shit. So then, the last step on that, my first European trip, it was like one of these like extra credit for school things in high school that you can do. You can take a little European tour, and the last stop was London, and I had the best time. Everyone was wonderful, and I think it's so underestimated how beautiful this city is. And as an American, I'm not worried about gun violence. I'm not worried it's safe. It's beautiful. I love it. It's exciting and cosmopolitan and the rest of the world is at your fingertips. So anyway, I knew I wanted to come here. And I got here via a university exchange program. And I was here for 4 days. And I knew I was never going home. And
it's interesting because I read on Urban Village London when the interview came out and it's good you're keeping your 4 days. So it might have been 4 days.
I literally remember the day. I was in my little car at a Vauxhall. It's my first car in the UK. And of course, your bloody steering wheel's on the wrong side. And I was on the wrong side of the road. And if you've never driven in another country with the change of sides, it is a unique experience to be driving down the road on these tiny little roads with these massive hedges because it was up in Cambridgeshire. And this massive lorry was coming towards me. And every single person, anyone listening who has had this experience, the white knuckles.
Yes.
Just don't kill me. As the car, and I pulled off on the side of the road and I was like, that was amazing. I'm never leaving. I will never forget that. I will never forget that moment. And honestly, I've been in love with this place ever since I got here. And I only go home when I have to. I only go to the US when I have
to.
Love
it. So proper Anglophile.
Anglophile.
Yeah.
I'm British now. Thank you very
much.
much.
Here we
are.
You
are. You're a citizen.
Yes, absolutely. It took me a long time and a lot of money.
Yes.
And I love it. So 20 years later.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
So back to walking down the road here and I know.
That's the beginnings, isn't it? How beautiful it is to reminiscence those moments where we were all started. And look at you now.
Yeah, it's
studios.
It was such a wonderful place that we came from and I met lovely people and, I would never been able to start my business if it weren't for that because, I had a big girl job. I was,
How old were you when you
important.
came?
When I came to the UK, I was 25. years this year.
We never tell how many. 20.
Yeah.
No,
20.
honey, I'm 45 years old and I look amazing. Okay?
Oh, you embrace it. That's what we
I
love.
look amazing. I feel amazing. I've had, a few bits of help from medical professionals, but
But you were in marketing. And
Yes, for a long time.
How did that happen?
So you were in marketing and then on the side, then you were teaching bar.
yeah. So I was a professional dancer actually in Miami.
Oh, wow.
I was a ballerina for a very long time. And then when you live in South Florida, you embrace salsa because it's fabulous. So I used to think Dirty Dancing, Miami style. So we would do the show
Wow.
dances in the clubs, and then we would bring get all the tourists out and like dance with them, and then we would, bugger off to the back and have a drink. And so I did that for a few years. And so just sort of dance and fitness was always very important to me. And then I got sick and I couldn't dance anymore. And there were many, many years where I didn't dance anything at all. And it wasn't until I was actually in the UK that I discovered a bar and I started going to bar classes. And it gave me that little whisper of ballet. And ballet is something which is so deeply meaningful to me. I think it's a fantastic art form. It brings me into my body. It's the only thing in the world that centers me and quiets me down. But I was so out of shape. I'd lost all my confidence. My body wasn't the same as it used to be. So I needed something that would get me back to the ballet bar. And as it happened, I realized that I was then in my 30s and maybe I was never going to get back to being the kind of ballerina that I was. And I just fell in love with bar as an exercise form. And so eventually I started teaching it. And then at Slice, actually, this is kind of an embarrassing story, but when I
We
would
love
go-
embarrassing. So go on,
Yeah,
please.
go
Makes me
for
sound
it.
like a bit of a dick.
But well,
We know you're not. So it's
yeah,
okay.
exactly.
I promise
Don't
I'm
we
not-
all sometimes?
Not normally. But no, when I would go on holiday and they would have cover instructors at that Slice, everyone would complain. So the manager, who now actually teaches for me in my studio sometimes, she was like, would you mind putting together a little training program for our instructors just so that they kind of know what it is that you're doing and we don't get complaints? Which led me to a deep dive where I developed entirely my own teacher training course. I had it certified by the CPD. It was like a whole thing because I was like, well, if I'm going to do this, I'm not going to do it half-assed.
Mm-hmm.
So I would want to develop something that people could take with them elsewhere and continue their
Impressive.
careers. And so that's what I did. And then, we all tried desperately to save our studio during the pandemic. And unfortunately, it wasn't to be. So I went online and then loads of clients followed me online, obviously, when we were all stuck in our houses. And then the second we all had a chance to get back into a studio, I was like, well, shit, I don't have one. Guess I better go.
Yeah.
So I opened my own. That was literally the extent of it. I was still working full time at the time. But I just knew that I couldn't not have it in my life. When I had a day job, it was my little brain break and it kept my body healthy. And I genuinely believe the combination of the exercise and the nutrition has staved off the cancer. And so it's just
Do
not
we wanna
something I will
talk a
ever
bit?
not do.
Yeah,
Do we want to talk about it? Or we?
Yeah, I'm fine to talk
cancer
about it. I'm fine.
survivor. Right.
So I have
I've seen that, and it was literally like,
She was
yes,
Yeah.
and it'd be like, all right, why would you put it in between a nutritionist and a bar instructor? All right,
Because
thank you.
Owning it. Good.
I don't like for that to define me. It is a part of me, but I've been dealing with it for so many years that it's almost become second nature. So I have a genetic condition which makes me grow tumors. And sometimes those tumors are malignant and sometimes they're not. But it took 15 years to figure that out. So I've been diagnosed with ovarian cancer, with cervical cancer, with
Wow.
non-Hodgkin's lymphoma at one
When
point.
I say wow, it's not like, but
Yeah.
it's I wasn't aware that there is such a condition.
I couldn't explain why it kept coming back. And then eventually I went in, similar to the BRCA gene testing, I went in for a different kind of genetic testing and they found this condition. And now I know I will continue to grow tumors. That's something that I will have to deal with. And sometimes they will be malignant and sometimes they won't. But when I got the diagnosis, I thought, right, how do I make my body as inhospitable to disease as I possibly can? And that's when I got interested in nutrition and when I really started taking the fitness and the exercise more seriously. And so that's totally, yes, the pandemic gave us the push, but I think I would have ended up here anyway.
Yes, and so that's what drove you to open Barrefly London, your first studio in Fulham.
Yes.
And then talking about the nutrition side, if you just say, oh, it's, I know it's bar class with a difference, which you can explain a lot better than I can in a minute.
I want to hear all about it.
But you haven't barred properly until you've barred at Barrefly London.
Oh my God, I did not pay you to say that, but may you say it louder. I'm going to write that down.
Yeah. So, but it's a combination of all those things, isn't it? That it's bar, you also offer total body conditioning, but it's also the nutrition side. We'll also talk about the other thing that you've had to combat and sort of struggle with, which was an early diagnosis of menopause.
Yes.
So
yes.
it's taking that. So you'll give it and you say, which you can also pay me for this again later.
God.
Is
have you got your wallet with you?
I'm going to make out with you in a minute. Never mind payment.
Well, you still owe me. You still owe me that cocktail, darling.
That is true.
So I'm holding you to that in Koji. Was it the lemongrass and chili? I'm holding
lemongrass and chili. It's my favourite. Yes.
Yeah, your favourite cocktail.
Yeah.
So, but it's what you say is that it's an unapologetic female space. So talk to us a little bit more about that. About what your offer is, what you offer, how you want to support,
and why the name and why did you choose?
Oh my God. Okay. So the name is hilarious. The name.
Why did I not see this coming? Of course I did.
Like, I like to be this like big rampant feminist, like female first. And I am. But the name, I literally was on Instagram like, what should I call it? And then a guy that I dated a few times messaged me and was like, we have to call it Barfly. And I was like, shit, I do. It's in the, the fly girls.
Yes.
And barflies were, the little groupies that went around to all the bars and shagged all the celebrities in New York City and LA. So I say it's a female first space. So we welcome men.
Yeah, they're not banned.
If they're brave enough. If they can put up with my music and my language and my feminism. But I
love it.
I think that bar in particular is an exercise which is so good for a woman's body. And it's not just because of my personal love of ballet that it brings that ballet in, but ballet, I won't get boring, but ballet, obviously, posture, length, rotation of the joints, keeping that mobility. You do a lot of balance work in a ballet class, which as we age is so very important.
Have you tried a ballet class?
So important. I have. Yeah. I haven't been to.
Then you haven't.
No, I
haven't.
Yes,
you never experienced
really.
So,
I mean, let's just. Yeah. But so there's that, and then it has the rehabilitative elements of Pilates. And then we bring a little bit of strength in, and it's so important for women to pick up heavy things and put them back down again, or pick up light things many, many times.
Reps.
It's such a uniquely beneficial exercise form for women. I love it too, funnily enough. But I have not.
Yeah, I think I haven't experienced the real bar.
So you haven't been to bar either. I mean, neither of you been to bar.
Yeah,
you both virgins. Let's be honest, you're both bar virgins.
So useless.
But
useless.
Yeah, so it's a female first space. And also, what you put into your body is so much more important than what you put onto your body.
What was it?
30%? It's 80% of your weight, your skin, your hair, the brightness of your eyes, the freshness of your breath.
Yeah, don't look at me. Yeah?
She's
looking in my eyes, guys. I want to go.
I did go for fish and chips last night. No,
no, I didn't.
But yeah, so what you put into your body is so much more important. So when we talk about the whole woman and the whole health, it's got to include nutrition, and especially as we,
was that the reason why you wanted to be good at both?
Yeah, well, again, I wanted to make my body inhospitable to disease.
Okay.
I wanted from your own personal experience and journey.
That's what got me interested in it. And then of course, as a result, we think of all of the cancers and all of the things I've had done to my lady parts. My bits have shut down officially. I was diagnosed with menopause at 37. And so I've had to navigate that. And again, I've been able to help myself quite a bit through being really careful what you put into your body, how you nourish yourself, how much protein are you taking in. All of those things can just help support easing that transition. And also, as we age, our nutritional needs just change. They just do. Everything changes. I hurt myself in bed last night. I wasn't having any fun. I woke up.
What did you do?
We were just about to ask, what were you doing?
I woke up and my shoulder was like stabbing me. I was like, I didn't do
Where's
anything.
that come from?
Age.
Exactly.
I'm loving it. So nice to be the youngest.
It's all right. You'll be catching up with us soon.
Melinda, should we just leave?
Yeah. So the difference between what you offer, because I think when we last spoke, you said, let's face it, bar classes on the whole, we won't be naming names, are a bit dull and kind of boring. So what is it about Barrefly London that is different?
I need to say something.
Do it.
Yeah.
Me. Say it.
I mean, aside from the obvious. No, so look, I find quite a lot of bar studios to be really pretentious.
And boring.
Well, a lot of gyms everywhere.
Sorry for saying that. My first
Yes,
experience
a little
was
bit
the
boring.
yeah.
And the
Or
music
you
is
walk
shite.
in and it's like, ugh.
And it's
Yeah, you
like,
don't feel welcome.
you don't feel
like,
welcome. Influencers in the corner pouting and taking selfies. Like, I
Yeah.
can't. So if you can't tell, I'm a little bit obnoxious. And I crank that up in my studio. I play really offensive hip hop music. I curse like an actual fucking sailor.
How'd you do ballet on hip hop? That's I want a piece of that.
It's you know what? It makes it fun. But here's the reason I do it, right? It's a conscious decision. I want women, mostly, who come into my studio to be able to forget what else is happening on the outside of those four walls. If the music is loud, if it's talking about, my pussy and my, sorry, can I say that on
Yes,
your
of
podcast?
course. It can be a meow.
My pussy and my meow and my crack, right?
My meow and my.
And everybody knows the words, and everyone is always afraid to sing along. I'm like, I know you guys know the word. Go ahead, say it. You know what I mean? That happens. People laugh.
Yeah.
And it's the art of not taking yourself so seriously. As RuPaul always says, we're all born naked. The rest is drag. And for me, the only thing that's worth taking seriously is your health, right? So I can't bear the pretentiousness of this or that. We have a laugh. It's loud. It's obnoxious. And I feel like, number one, it gives the women who come to my space the freedom to be whoever the fuck they are that day. If you're feeling fabulous, be fabulous. If you're feeling shit, be shit.
That's what I love as well on your website when you say, like, don't care if you just rolled out of bed, pulled on your kit, staggered down the road. If you got a full,
come in with a full beat or come in, in the gym jams. We don't care.
You got your lippy on.
But
it doesn't
also,
matter.
selfishly, that will put off anyone who's really going to be a pain in my ass.
But that's good.
Oh,
But
yes.
that's
That's
greatness
good.
because you are going to attract
Yeah.
Like
what you
attracts like.
invite.
Yes.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
100%. And like,
Oh, lovely. Stay at home.
it's true. Anybody who comes in who's going to be uptight and like prissy and just not welcoming, not open, not up for having a laugh is never coming back. And I'm so fine with that. Bye.
Yeah.
Like,
Later.
Talking about that, is everyone welcome? Obviously, we already know that men can come, but
I mean, they can come if they
Yeah.
Although I will say that once I trained a couple of rugby players, and I would very much like to do that again.
Oh,
Any rugby players out there, I'm happy.
well, you can pay me and Melinda. We'll find you one.
We'll
2,
ruffle
3.
some up for you
or-
girls. Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
I mean,
couple.
it's for women and rugby players, and it's a well-known fact. American football players actually do a lot of ballet
Do they? No
because,
way.
again, the balance. If you think
Right,
about
of
when you're
course.
playing sport
Rugby
and you
players
need to be
too.
able to pivot, and it's a lot of pressure on the joints. So the stronger you are on your hips and your
Hips.
knees, and the better balance you have, the better you're going to be at your sport. So it's actually a fantastic exercise for sport, even though men tend to be put off. I don't know why, just because
Yeah, come on.
Because
being
it's
a
scary.
rampant
I think
feminist all
it's
the time.
scary, and because all the leaders in the world. Well, I can't say all the leaders in the world because if you look in Russia and that parts of the world where ballet is big,
yeah,
there are
yeah.
phenomenal males there that lead, but
Yeah, for sure.
mostly, and there is the Swan Lake.
Toxic masculinity is a whole
Yes.
thing.
So I think it's just scare of being.
Yeah.
I'm not good at that.
Which is funny because at the end of every class, we do our own little version of 2 fingers up to the patriarchy, right? And the patriarchy.
Are you sure you're teaching bar?
I know, bar with a healthy dose of feminism. No, but because the patriarchy doesn't just screw over women, it screws over men. Loads of men, I think, would enjoy that exercise form, but they're
Yes.
so caught up in what they're allowed to
Yeah.
do and not allowed to do.
I
It's
don't
all
think-
bullshit.
Wrong.
Little fear and belief that face-to-face human interactions are about to become the exclusive privilege of the 1%.
That is so funny because we spoke about it today earlier.
Did you?
Today, yes, exactly. Everyone's fear is that.
I'm telling you, well, and it's partly the fault of businesses and industries.
AI.
AI chatbots. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I feel like during the pandemic, we kind of all accepted that everything was a bit shit, right? I'm going to have to deal with a chatbot. I can't have somebody in the, they get customer service, whatever. I'm going to have to make do. Well, the scary part of the pandemic is done, and we haven't gone back to proper customer service.
No,
We
you're
haven't gone
right.
back. Like, too many people, in my view, are exercising in their living rooms, which for some people, that's the right thing. Maybe they don't have the confidence. Maybe they,
If that's all
whatever.
they can do
If
to
that's
be
what
able
you
to
can do.
exercise because they can't get out to
Great,
whatever,
of course.
Yeah.
But too many people choose it because it's easier and it's
Comfort.
cheaper.
Yeah.
Correct.
Now, I get the cheap thing, and yet I have an online-only subscription available on my website. I'm taking it down because I'm so upset about
Interesting.
this. I'm still going to live stream for my members, but you got to be able to come into those physical classes and use that as your side gig when you're traveling, when you're on holiday, whatever. I will not allow people to work out exclusively online with us anymore. Because
that's I've never heard that, so I applaud you.
first
Well
of
done.
all, thank you. First of all, if I just record a workout and chuck it online, then I'm putting all the responsibility on you.
Yeah.
You have to make sure your form's right. You have to make sure you're modifying correctly. You have to be motivated. Are you getting enough? Are you getting too little? Are you having a fucking good time? Probably not, because you're in your living room watching the TV, right? It's all on you. I've done the work once, but I'm going to charge you every month to keep watching that same content.
But it's easy.
lazy from the producer and it's
Yes.
lazy from the consumer.
Yes.
It is cheaper, and I get that. And again, we've already talked, there are scenarios when of course it's appropriate. And ironically, I'm actually putting together a digital product for exactly that person we were talking about who doesn't have like me, when I was sick and I wanted to get back into exercise, was terrified to go into a live studio. It is a 30-day program, sofa to studio. The point is, 30 days, you're in the fucking studio. It is not designed for long-term use.
Yeah.
Right?
That's very clever.
But the thing is, the more people choose the third-party apps, the more people choose to work out in their living rooms, the more people choose YouTube, the higher I am going to have to raise my prices to be able to keep my fucking doors open. I'm going to have to start raising those prices. That means fewer and fewer people are going to be able to afford it. And there we are very quickly going to reach a point where it is only the 1%, the super wealthy, who are able to afford things like live fitness, live entertainment, live theater, live music. But here's the thing. We live in Southwest London. There's always going to be somebody who can afford to pay whatever I'm charging. And the worst part is the people who can afford to pay the most will pay the most because they didn't want to be mixing with everyone, right? It just becomes this bigger and bigger divide between the haves and the have-nots. And I don't want any part on that.
Should we put her on that lovely
On the spot.
dirty waters?
Yeah. Who's going first with the on the spot?
Oh, what's that?
Should I go first? Oh, did you not tell her? You can tell
I
her
didn't
until I
tell
get
her,
on
no.
my question.
Oh, no.
It's just an on the spot question.
Oh, shit.
So obviously, you were born and bred in Miami, and now you are a London babe. But if you would to bring anything from Miami back into London, 3 things, just 3, everything, like anything that comes into your head straight away without thinking
3
too
things
much.
from Miami to London.
Yes.
Tacos.
Yep.
Proper margaritas. I cannot get a good margarita in this city, and it pains me.
Really?
Oh, I could give you so many spots.
Oh.
Honey, listen. If it's a Mexican restaurant, I am first in line. Give me that. Do you know what? That's not true. Actually, local plug, 1910.
Oh, they're really good cocktails. Yeah.
Really good margaritas. I have
margaritas,
to admit it. A little bit too few vegetarian options for my liking. But the food's yum and the cocktails are amazing. So tacos, margaritas, and proper salsa. So in London, the type of salsa that tends to be danced is called crossbody. And it's danced in a straight line. And it's very like spin, pose. Ugh. Whereas in South America, in Miami, the salsa
all about
that's
romance.
danced, exactly.
Love.
It's danced in a circle, and it's more free, and it's more fun, it's more joyful, it's sexier. And I can't do the other one. Literally, I cannot follow the lead. And somebody used to be a professional salsa dancer. I go to a club in London, I'm like, what the hell am I doing? So
What's
those
this
are the 3
shit?
things.
Yeah.
What the hell? Yeah, what is this
Wannabes.
shit? Yeah, I'm not why are you posing? Stop. Yeah, those are the 3 things. Tacos, margarita, and proper salsa
Well,
music.
I would tell you one thing. I did not expect any of them.
What did you expect?
I don't know, but not talking about tacos and margaritas and salsa. I love it.
Can I have a 4th thing?
Just,
No.
yeah,
Okay,
no,
okay,
go on.
There is a
on.
festival in Miami, and this will make sense to you. There's a festival in Miami that happens once a year. It's called Cayocho. It's the 8th Street Festival, and it is all about dance. Music, dance. There's bands in the street. People are dancing in the street. Fathers and daughters and uncles and nieces and nephews and friends. And it's just joy.
Is it like a wannabe Notting Hill festival?
No. It is less
Be careful what you're about to say.
upsetting to the people who live there. There's less. It's the people who live there and they
Okay.
open their homes, right?
This-
Whereas people who live in Notting
okay.
Hill shut
Yeah.
the doors, put up
Put the
blinders
shutters
and bugger
down.
off,
Yeah.
right?
Well, this is a
Yeah.
thing that I've always said about festivals in London and in the UK. Everyone seems to be mortified, terrified. You know, you go next door neighbor. I just saw something. Have you seen the music at Crabtree? It was so loud. The other
NIMBY,
day.
not in my backyard.
It doesn't happen every day, does it?
Exactly.
Be
No,
a
but in
part-
Cayocho, everybody's out in the
Oh,
street.
that's amazing.
Everybody,
So it's the community coming
living
together.
Yes, tourists come, community comes, but it for Miami tends to be pretty safe. And
Well,
it's
if
just enjoyable festival.
anyone that does festivals listening to this, we are all up for it.
Yeah.
If you are to.
Dancing in the streets of
Yeah.
Fulham.
You know, it's so funny. I went to Glastonbury.
Yeah.
I went to Glastonbury.
Did you go to Glastonbury?
Honey, I lasted 29 hours at Glastonbury. I woke up in the morning and it was already, first of all, the music sounds much better from my stereo at home, from my Sonos speakers, first of all, and I'm less dirty and sweaty and gross. I woke up in the morning and I unzipped my tent, and it was a nice tent, okay, it was glamping, but I unzipped and there was a river running past my tent with a condom in it. And I literally was like, I'm 35. I'm out. I'm
going
No, absolutely not. I literally packed my shit, gave my ticket to someone else and walked out.
So my question to you is, going back to sort of your nutrition background, or just more of a health question, I guess.
Yeah.
If there was one myth that you could bust about women's health, women's health in particular, like you got to take this, you got to do that, you got to do that. I know there's
Supplements,
probably
anything.
a million.
You probably
of
know what
them,
I'm going to
but
say.
Yeah.
Well,
Which one would you love to
I
bit?
have to choose one.
Which one would you like to
Okay, you can
bust
have
the
two.
most?
Should
Yeah,
we
go
give it
on.
two?
I'll
Yeah,
give you two.
quick.
well, okay, so the first one is more existential. The first one I
Okay.
would say is menopause is not the fucking end.
It's
all
not
right?
the end of the world. It's like, come on.
It's not. It is just like puberty. It is a change in your body, which you need to learn to manage. And once you've learned to manage it, I feel amazing. I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm happy. I'm fine. Everything's great.
It's just all these stories you're hearing.
I just have to do
No.
different things than what I
Yeah,
did
but
when I
it's
was
better
You
younger.
need
that
to do
everyone
this,
is
you need
actually
to eat
talking
this,
about
you
it,
need
because
to-
otherwise
Yes.
girls, women were living in fear of it. Whereas this thing, we're not allowed to
100%.
talk about it, because then you get the
Yes.
comments and the
Yeah.
horrible adjectives thrown
Yes.
in, which is
Totally,
just so
totally,
like, why do
totally.
us women, we do this to ourselves as well, where we
Yes.
do ourselves down on
And we
things.
And it doesn't
Yeah,
help the
yeah,
younger
yeah.
generation
It
because
doesn't.
it makes you feel mortified of something you should embrace. It's
But
it's like dying.
It's
Could you
natural, yeah.
imagine
happens.
could you imagine if your mother never told you about getting your period? Right?
Yes.
Mhm.
And there are
In-
so many out there that didn't. Trust
In
me.
mu- well,
Yeah,
quite.
there are,
In much the same way,
Mm.
women need to be told what to expect with
Mm.
menopause, how to manage it, and then it's completely and utterly manageable.
Mm.
Yes, you need to do things, you need to be educated, you need to be aware. So that's the first thing that I would say. But more practically speaking, collagen. This is my pet peeve.
Oh, you're not going to like this one.
Oh,
I'm so pro collagen.
no. Listen,
Yeah.
I will tell you why you're wrong. Collagen, well, why you're part right. Collagen is protein.
Hmm.
You cannot put collagen into your mouth and then have collagen on your face. That isn't how biology works.
Wait a
You're-
minute. What type of collagen? Do you mean the injectable one? Or any type of collagen?
Well, I'm talking about like the sachets and the powders and all that, the things that you eat.
What
The-
about the ones that come 100% from fish oil?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
It is protein.
Okay.
You
Mm.
put that in your mouth, it goes into your tummy, your organs break that down into its component amino acids, and they send it out to your body,
Yes.
wherever you need it. That might be collagen in your face, or it might be joint pain, it might be bone density,
Yes.
it might be hair, skin, nails.
Yeah.
We are basically walking sacks of water and protein, like a bit of calcium.
Mm.
So, and the problem with these collagen sachets is, number one, they make bullshit claims about going straight to your face, which is just straight up
Not
not
the one we're
possible.
taking.
Mhm.
And then the second thing is they're not even a complete amino acid profile. So they are a protein, but it's not even a complete protein.
Mm.
So for the money you would spend on these sachets, buy yourself a good quality plant-based protein. I say plant-based because you don't want to up your cholesterol levels with more animal, proteins. So buy yourself a good protein, plant-based, full amino acid profile protein supplement. And then it will not only cost you a lot less money, but it is a more complete profile, and the exact same thing will happen. I used to take those sachets whenever I'd have aching hips and knees as I got older, menopause, yay. I would take those sachets, it would get better. Why? Because I was too light in protein in my diet. So I was taking in extra protein. They're like 9 grams of protein each on average. So I was taking in protein, but it was costing me a fucking fortune. And it's not even a complete protein profile. Now I don't take them anymore. I have a protein shake every day, and I see much more benefit. In fact, I have generally a high protein diet, and I don't have aching joints and hips, and I'm not taking any of those really expensive sachets. I bristle at the bullshit claims more than I do at the ingestion of a protein in any form, right? If you were like, fuck it, it's a protein, I'm just going to take it.
It's
easy.
more about saying collagen
Yes.
you're going to be
wrinkle-free
face.
Wrinkle-free
gorgeous.
face.
I know,
Well,
just-
I think it's time for us to
know,
wrap up.
it
I would love
is.
to have you
I
for
know. We'd
3
love
more
to carry
hours
on
here.
chatting.
Thank you
It's
so
been-
much for having me. It's been really fun.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
It's
so
so
much for
lovely to
having
talk
me.
It's been a
to you.
pleasure. Thank you.
And we'd just love to say thank you to our sponsors. So huge thanks to Archie Pango, and also thank you to Boxbod and their gorgeous
Yeah, thank
studios
you.
here in the heart of Fulham. And if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe, or wherever you listen to this, subscribe. It would be amazing.
We
We'd
need
appreciate
some
your
love.
support. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
Yes,
you.
please. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.